start talking to Canelo, or do you expect to anytime soon?
Hello? Okay, let me get the statement for Canelo. Regardless of the result, if Canelo fight Benavidez, he be an idol if he fight him. If he doesn't fight him, he will not be ever an idol. Now, regardless, if he win, he be the best. And if he lose, he have the balls to go with the best. So, Canelo, no run anymore. And whoever say that I tell you what, I give you $1,000 now if you tell me any other fight beside Canelo and Benavidez. Give me another fight that everybody won.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, back again. Marlo Knows Basketball and Marlo Knows Boxing. Back at y'all with another one. Coming to y'all this Sunday morning on another morning after a great night of boxing. Another great night of boxing. Again, this year, 2023, has been the best year of boxing in recent memory. So, shout out to the sport. David Benavidez, man, he did not disappoint, man. I said he needed to look impressive. I said he had to look impressive to force this Canelo fight, to force Canelo's hand. Canelo has to fight this man now. He has to fight this man now, man. David Benavidez put on a great performance against an undefeated, never been hurt, never even came close to losing a fight, Demetrius Andrade. And David Benavidez came in there and destroyed him. Demetrius Andrade did put up a good fight. He put up a good fight for the first 3.5 rounds. The first 3.5 rounds, he definitely had the fight competitive. He was doing everything that he could to make it competitive. Punch output was there. He was landing some shots and everything like that. But once David Benavidez decided to start going to the body is really where the fight really turned. And that was toward the end of round 3. Toward the end of round 3, kind of at the beginning of round 4, when David Benavidez decided to focus on the body. And you could tell that those body shots were really affecting Demetrius Andrade. And David Benavidez really showed a lot when it comes to his boxing IQ, man. That sustained body attack is what caused Demetrius Andrade to start dropping his guard. Once he started dropping his guard, then that's when David Benavidez started cracking him to the head. You know what I'm saying? Cracking him to the head. Just started landing left hooks, overhand rights, just cracking him to the head and rocking him. And particularly in the fourth, at the end of the 4th round, is where David Benavidez caught him with the best punch of the night. And, Demetrius Andrade kind of leaned back and dropped his guard to try to protect from those body shots. Of course, those body shots were obviously hurting him because he had that guard dropped to protect his body. And David Benavidez came right over top and landed a clean shot to his head, which completely rocked him. He didn't know where he was. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know if he was in Las Vegas, Nevada, or Atlanta, Georgia. So he cracked him with that one, and that was pretty much where the turning point of the fight pretty much was over at that point, man. At that point, Demetrius Andrade, if he wanted to survive all 12 rounds, he would have had to go in survival mode. But he, of course, still kept coming forward, still fighting, trying to make a fight of it, which, he definitely showed the heart of a champion. But David Benavidez was too much, man. Too strong, too fast, too smart. And much respect to Demetrius Andrade, man. He definitely showed the heart of a champion. He didn't get on his bicycle and run for the rest of the fight once he felt David Benavidez's power, much like a lot of other fighters do. When they feel the power of their opponent and they feel like they're getting hit too hard, they'll start to run the rest of the fight so that they survive all 12 rounds. But Demetrius Andrade was still trying to win the fight, still throwing a lot of punches, and still trying to be competitive. So I really respect that. But what I don't respect is the excuses that he made after the fight to try to downplay David Benavidez. He said that it was because of the weight difference, and David Benavidez is too big, and he's not the more skillful fighter. He's just bigger. He's just a bigger fighter. No, no. He outboxed you. He outboxed you. He was not only stronger than you. He not only had more power. He was also faster than you. He was faster on his feet. His hands were faster, and he was a smarter fighter. He was the smarter fighter. He put together that body attack, which is what made you drop your guard, and you had no defense against it. Demetrius Andrade is supposed to be this great defensive wizard, this great defensive fighter, but he had no answer for David Benavidez going to the body other than just to drop his guard. Demetrius Andrade doesn't have the foot speed to really defend against a guy like David Benavidez, and he doesn't have the hand speed either. So, I mean, you were dominated all around. So it's nothing wrong with just admitting that a guy was better than you, man. David Benavidez was better than you, man. He outclassed you. It wasn't just about him being bigger or stronger. You've been at you already fought at 168 once. You're only coming from 160. I mean, you're acting like like you're coming up 5 weight classes. That's just a poor thing to do, man. A very disappointing thing to do. You got to take your loss like a man, and if a man's better than you, man, just admit it. But of course, what everybody wants to talk about now is what's next for David Benavidez. Of course, we all know what's next. Canelo Alvarez is the fight that everybody wants to see. To me, right now, that's the biggest fight. The fight that everybody's calling for the most in boxing right now. They're calling for that fight more than any other fight. So, get the fans what they want to see, Canelo, man. Don't go and backdoor and pull another easy fight out of your butt and say you're going to fight Triple G again, or, another opponent that we don't really care about. We want to see you fight against David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. This is the fight that everybody wants to see. Me, in my opinion, I did want to see him fight Terrence Crawford. But after that performance last night, David Benavidez proved that he is the biggest fight for Canelo right now. And that's the fight everybody wants to see. So give the fans what they want to see. Give this young man his opportunity to be great, man. Give him the opportunity to be great. The same opportunity that Floyd Mayweather gave to you when you were young. Give this opportunity to this young up-and-coming fighter, man. That's what's right for the sport, man. Canelo you can't keep on trying to duck and run around and fight all these different guys when the fight that everybody wants to see is right there in front of your face, man. Give us the fight that we want, Canelo. David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez this May 2024. Cinco de Mayo. That's the fight. That's the biggest fight in boxing right now, and that's the fight everybody wants to see. And at the end of the day, if you follow my channel, I have been calling for Terrence Bud Crawford versus Canelo. I gotta put that on the back burner, man. I want to see this David Benavidez versus Canelo fight more. I want to see the David Benavidez fight versus Canelo more. That doesn't mean that Terrence Crawford should forget about it, though. That doesn't mean he should forget about it, because there's no big fights for Terrence Crawford anywhere else other than these higher weight divisions. Nobody wants to see Terrence Crawford beat up Errol Spence again. We already saw that. That fight was not competitive. Nobody wants to see him fight Jaron Boots Ennis. Jaron Boots Ennis doesn't have the resume. He doesn't have the resume. He doesn't have the pedigree for Terrence Crawford to waste one of his last fights. He's getting up there in age. He's like 36 years old. We don't want to see him waste one of his last fights on a Jaron Boots Ennis who doesn't have the resume. We don't want to see him fight a washed-up Keith Thurman. We don't want to see him fight Jermell Charlo after the way Jermell Charlo just ran from Canelo like he was Debo from Friday. We don't want to see none of those fights. But what I will say is the best thing for Terrence Crawford to do is wait for the winner of Canelo versus David Benavidez by fighting a tune-up fight. Well, you might call it a tune-up fight, but I feel like he should fight a good opponent at 168. Fight Demetrius Andrade, fight Caleb Plant, or another big fight. After what we just watched Jermall Charlo do to Jose Benavidez, Obviously he came in and couldn't even make 163. Jermall Charlo couldn't. So why not do a tune-up fight against Jermall Charlo at 168? Just to show everybody that's hating on the fight and saying you shouldn't come up that much weight. If you fight someone at 168 and you're able to dominate, then that'll shut up all that noise of people saying that you can't fight at that weight. So fight somebody like Caleb Plant or Jermall Charlo or Demetrius Andrade. You beat them and you look dominant doing it, nobody's going to say anything against you fighting against Canelo. Or, of course, I think David Benavidez has a good chance against Canelo, so it might not be Canelo. It might be David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to reserve my predictions for that fight for now. But, there are a couple people out there that are saying that they will pick David Benavidez to beat Canelo. But we'll see.
In your opinion, this version of Benavidez, how do you match Canelo? Beats Canelo in your opinion?
Yeah.